Hey everybody, this is part 5 of the George Perez book, The Art of George Perez. This is really cool. This is the 80s, it says. These are really cool artwork that he did. This is Avengers number 195. And it's inked by Dan Green, 1980. That's a cool cover. And I have this guy. I bought this cover just recently at Half Price Books. Or recently, or maybe it might have been a little bit longer ago, but very cool cover. It is inked by Terry Austin. That's cool. Wow. And this one down here is inked by Dan Green, page 15. So the cover is inked by Terry Austin, and Dan Green inked the pages on the inside. Okay, what do you got to say here, George? The Marvel style of comic production, where the penciler is working from a plot rather than a script, can complicate things. In the old days, when the writer was giving full scripts to the artist knew exactly how much space to leave. I was able to see the Superman Man of Tomorrow where Kurt Swan had penciled in where the word balloons would be. Sometimes artists would allow more room than was needed, but they were at least conscious of the word balloons because they had full script. And I know George likes to fill up pages and everything, so he might get some artwork covered where they have to figure out some way to put the word balloons and the narration blocks in there. Because I remember drawing a comic book with my friend Chris, and sometimes I would draw a few things where they weren't supposed to be, and he'd have to cover up some of the artwork. But he tried to make sure when he did cover up the artwork that it wasn't anything that was necessary for the story. Or if we laid out pages, we had to figure out where we're going to put the word balloons and everything so we wouldn't cover anything up. Okay. What's this one? Now, this is Marvel 2-in-1, number 60, page 18, inked by Gene Day. Looks like George is in the comic book here. That's cool. We got Marvel 2-in-1, number 65, page 11, inked by Gene Day. Got the Thing in there. Goes some Inhumans. And here's a Marvel 2-in-1, number 65, page 3, inked by Gene Day. That's cool. Look at the little square, the detail just in that little panel there. Wow, man. See what George has to say here. With the Marvel style, though, you have a plot, but you have no idea what the final script will say. You have to allow room for a minimal amount of dialogue and hope the writer will work within that space. It encourages good writers to pull back and not get verbose. Let the words work with the art, not repeating what the artist has shown. Yeah, cool. What we got here? Marvel 2-in-1, number 65, page 13. Let's see, start at the top here. Man, I like to have a big art book with just black and white pencils of George's stuff. The inks would be nice too, but just the pencils. Imagine having all the books. If they could come up with stuff like that and have George Perez artwork books, that'd be cool. And I've got some that I did flip throughs already before. If you've seen some of the art books of George, so you have to check out some more stuff on my page or on my channel to see if you can find them. Everything. There's so many videos that I've done, so I get lost myself when I'm trying to find something to try to add up to see, okay, what number video am I on now? I had to do it with this right here. Okay, this is Bizarre Adventures number 27, page 1, inked by Alfredo Alcala, 1981. That is cool. I like all the snow and everything. And what's this one? This is Bizarre Adventures number 27, page 13, inked by Alfredo Alcala too. Then we got Dial H for Hero Adventure Comics presents that the comic you create. number 485. Wow, man, look at the detail. Wow. Enter the Evil Eight. Man, cover was inked by George Perez in 1981. You see, one of the things that I channeled when I began working at DC was that I wanted to be a good cover artist. Most of my Marvel cover art was designed by other people, but at DC for the first time I was designing my own covers, and I had to make a conscious effort to make both more dynamic and more artistic, to design and to illustrate, to become a storyteller and an artist. Wow. There's a book out called George Perez Storyteller. It's really cool. It was independently done. I got a bunch of them, and I got him to sign them when I met him in Pittsburgh a few years in a row, but it was years ago. Now these are cool. Green Lantern covers inked by Dick Giordano, George Perez, 1981. Man, oh man. I like to go out and see if I can collect George Perez covers. I got a lot of Alex Ross covers, and I got a lot of Mike Deodato covers, but George Perez covers, wow. That's cool. I wonder if I'd like to see the color version of that, but look at that. I'm seeing somebody's doing the tattoo thing again. Press the tattoo, make the monster. The New Teen Titans, number 7, cover inked by George Perez. Wow, that's cool. And, I've seen this cover before. I owned it at one time, but let me scoot up a little bit. Look at all the detail on the machinery. Man, oh man. Wow. Isn't that awesome? Okay, what's he got to say over here? In the 1980s, I made the move to DC after years at Marvel. Part of it was the time and the editorial direction. I had been itching for some time to do work at DC. I had auditioned for DC before I auditioned for Marvel because I love the Justice League. When I was approached about doing work at DC, I was offered the Teen Titans book, but my main focus was Justice League. I agreed to do the Titans even though I had a very little interest in it, just to have a shot at the Justice League if Dick Dillon ever went on vacation. I figured that doing a team book would give me a better chance at it. The irony is that Justice League ended up becoming a passing book for me, while the Titans became the major thing. Yeah, and we love it. I think the Titans offered me the opportunity to develop a much more personal creative involvement. Unlike Avengers and Justice League, which I adored, but which already existed prior to my taking on the titles, the Titans characters were made out of whole cloth by me and by Marv Wolfman. Wow. Their success would be hands down what Marv and I could do with them. That personal involvement led to a more personal success, and that started fueling my creativity on the Titans. No one predicted that it would be a successful book. The fact that it did succeed was much more personal achievement. The Titans was the first book where I had an actual creative starting point. They didn't exist in the form that Marv and I presented them before we took them on, so I wasn't working against any other pre-existing style. That is cool. New Teen Titans number 1, page 13, inked by Romeo Tango, 1981. So cool to see it like this in black and white. Wow. So much going on. Everybody's doing something. It'll be cool to see a DC Teen Titans movie and see a younger version of Cyborg or something. Okay, what we got here now? We got New Teen Titans number 4, inked by Romeo Tango, 1981. Wow. It was also around this time that I think my artistic finesse took a huge leap, similar to what Barry Windsor Smith exhibited between 1971 and 1975. The Avengers and the Fantastic Four were going well, but I was adapting my style to the Marvel way of drawing, just as Barry adapted his style to the Kirby-esque Marvel style in the beginning. As I mentioned earlier, to a degree, a house style was, well, if not required, at least requested. And this is New Teen Titans number 4, page 5, inked by Romeo Tangel, 1981. Wow, man. Look at he signed it down there. Wow, that's beautiful. Here's more pages. Wow. Pages 24 and 23, it says. Inked by Romeo Tingle. That's cool. Deathstroke. Then we got another page here. Teen Titans 11, page 23. I love how he does all the rock and everything. When I drew some of my early books, I was modeling my stuff after what George did. And it was a lot to do because I made all my rocks and everything just like he did. And it took a lot of time. I began using vertical panels much more extensively. I think a lot of it was that I was constantly trying to make one page not look like another. The use of vertical panels was much more challenging, and it offered me a chance to do something different than the norm. Comic panels are usually done in a horizontal orientation, similar to a movie screen, so I wanted to do something different. Jim Starlin inspired me in part. I remember Jim and some of his cosmic books used vertical panels to give a sense of size and space. I tried it with the Avengers and Sons of the Tiger in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, but it became much more prominent in the New Teen Titans due to my creative involvement. Marv and I could plan stories that worked well with the vertical panel approach. Yeah, it looks cool. I was also being motivated to break away from the old Marvel style, which was very heavily dictated by Marvel's editorial approach at the time. Marvel may not have had a house style as such, but the editors encouraged artists to use certain approaches. Teen Titans was a watershed for me artistically. This enabled me either subconsciously or consciously to branch out in new directions, to do things I had not done during my years at Marvel. This is New Teen Titans number 8, page 16, inked by Romeo Tangel, 1981. These were some awesome stories. Wow. Those long panels, vertical panels, cool. This is cool too. I got this cover. Wow, imagine having the original. I wonder how much original artwork George has of his own stuff. Or did he sell it all? New Teen Titans Annual number 1. Cover paints by George Perez. Wow, cool. He painted that. That's beautiful. We got over here New Teen Titans Volume 2, number 3. Cover paints by George Perez. That's cool too. Had all these books at one time. This is Volume 2, number 4. And he painted this one too, 1984. Wow. That was a scary story. I can imagine this being a real story. It'd be pretty scary. Because you see it in the comic books and everything. But to actually see it in real life, acted out and everything, and with actual images and everything. Woo, boy. Let's see, okay. I was doing big, bold characters. My original influences at DC, such as the soft, expressivist Kurt Swan, led me to a realistic style, rather than the bombastic style I had used at Marvel. The benefits I had from working at Marvel so early was that it brought out the strength and power of my drawing. Going back to the Titans and leaning on my influences from artists like Kurt Swan, Gil Kane, Norman Rockwell, and Alphonse Mucha, Teen Titans gave me a place to work them in, and that opened up my work. Dick Giordano, God rest him, pointed out that he thought when I started working on the Titans that I was a good comic book artist. But as I worked on Titans, he said that I became a good artist because I paid attention to drawing. That's cool. Part of it was my personal involvement in the Titans, and part was knocking down my workload I was on Titan workload. I was on Titans, I was on JLA, and I was still on the Avengers at Marvel all at the same time to begin with. And something had to give. Once the royalty system came into play, I was able to spend more time on each page focusing on quality as well as quantity, and thus I could improve my artwork and start putting in the more sophisticated stuff that I was learning. The Titans benefited from my stylistic change and development because I had time to produce better work and the creative freedom to do things that editors wouldn't have allowed on other projects. Wow. That's cool. So he was drawing. So, okay, I'm going to stop right here and everything, but hopefully you enjoyed that. And like I said, I'm trying to keep it at 15 minutes and everything, so they're not too long. But thank you very much for watching, you guys. Please like and subscribe and share, and or at least like. If you don't share, if you don't subscribe or anything like that, if you're already subscribed, at least like my videos so I can get some more likes and everything. And hopefully when you watch through them and everything, I'll get more hours and everything like that. It just helps my channel. But I appreciate everything everybody's done. Like I said, I'll be having more contests pretty soon. I can't wait. Everything. The post office and stuff like that's doing different things, so I got to figure things out with that. But this is fun for me. I hope you guys enjoy these videos and like these books and everything. But thank you very much for watching, everybody. You guys have a great day. Collect Dude out.